Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Deepbluerenegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 439. Today is Saturday, April 29th, 2023, and I'm glad you can join me today. It's a little bit odd, would it be, and the look of things will definitely be different. So my laptop is in sorry shape right now. Not entirely sure what's going on. We have a couple more ideas of things to try, but I did want to record an episode. So the only other products around are Apple products. And a whole entirely different fiasco. So I'm in the process of we're going to be. So this is my loaner work laptop. Because my work laptop isn't working. Yeah. So, would be. It's been a bit of a weird week, but it's fine. So, as a result, I am actually re-recording this because I cannot for the life of me find what was a perfectly adequate file. But whatever. It's been a little strange, but it's fine. So, my father-in-law and my husband's aunt were out to visit, so I did not have use of this room, so I could not record even if there was time. And I probably could have recorded the previous week, but I had been doing like the 2-week schedule, so now we're 3, whatever. But yeah, no, I did a lot of stuff. So, what would it be? But now that I'm recording this now, like, what would it be? Like, baby's asleep for the night, even dinner, no coffee. There was coffee earlier. It was delicious. But such is life. So, the lighting won't be the best. I'm a little bit, or would be, it's just, what's hilarious right now, at least for me, is that this is like true widescreen, so it's just like all this stuff that's not normally in the frames on the frame. And or would it be? And there's also it's also like a very different aspect ratio camera, so I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that, but whatever. We're gonna make it work today. So see, my socks are still on the blockers, and they're still very lovely and very finished. So this is the Simple Skip Sock by Adrienne Coe. And I now have 2 lovely pairs. I was a little bit weirded out because it, like, when I weighed the first sock, I was like, oh, this is going to be close for the second one. But I still have a pretty good sized little ball of yarn here, and they look to be the same size, so grist. And this is my cable yarn that I spun back in 2015. And so I split up the colors of Fractal. The colorway is Tinkerbell's Unmentionables from Into the World, and the yarn base is Falkland. And they're very sturdy socks. The only modification that I really did was I mixed up the patterns so that the little skip twist was a little bit less frequent. And I'm pretty sure this camera doesn't have zoom, so fixed focus at infinity. So who knows what's gonna happen. I know too much now. So what would it be? So not too crazy there. So should be fun. I'll have to wind this ball up and figure out how much I actually really used here. And yeah, kitchen it up the toes. Looks cute. Hopefully they're long wearing socks, because would it be? I have a feeling it's probably the way I need to go. But we'll see about the results of the Great Sock Yarn Experiment. I have, or would it be? Chain ply has already been done. Traditional 3-ply has been wearing out slowly but surely. I cut a hole with a toenail on one of my opposing plies. The other opposing ply, or whatever, not sure. Both of my opposing plies are BFLs, so whatever. It's not very scientific. But it should be fun. So, whatever. Nice to see the end of a project, and I somehow managed to hold off wearing these until I podcast again, which is like a whole 2 weeks, but I have plenty of socks, so it's not like it's a big deal. Yeah, so should be fun. Yeah, a very cheery yellow, for sure. So what ended up getting quite a bit of progress in the last 3 weeks has been this bandana cowl. So I have gotten it onto a bigger needle. I've put on a row and a half since I talked about this last. So this is a brioche pattern that I'm making up as I go along. I think I'm gonna call it a shield maiden, because that's sort of what my increase pattern reminds me of, is sort of like whatever, like some sort of shield pattern or something. I'm knitting it with 2 hand spun yarns. One of them is a precious camel silk merino kiviet blend that I put together, and then plied with silk thread in order to make it go as far as possible, which I think translated to like 330 some yards, I believe. And then the other yarn is 2 of the most luxurious samples from my Hip Strings fiber speed dating class. So one ply is 50/50 camel merino. The other ply is, I believe, merino, like superfine merino, mulberry, and tencel. And these are like totally not my colors. It was actually sort of funny bringing this to knit night, because I like pulled it out while there was still like a little bit of daylight, and then Ksenia was like, "Ooh," I'm like, "Yeah, these are Ksenia colors." It was like dusty pinks, yellow leaning neutrals. So it's entirely possible that I will end up doing like a very light blue wash over this to make it more my colors. I'm not sure. My conundrum right now is that so I do have the powder dye, but I've been maybe just like a little intimidated about mixing the liquor and storing it for a long time. But maybe that is what I need to do. So we'll see what happens. And then it's also, or it also might not, like one does not simply because what would it be? Because what I got was like sort of I have cyan, magenta, and yellow, and then black. So CMKY or whatever, CMYK. There we go. Say it like it's supposed to be. So this is like your additive color notebook. RGB would be what you would do if you were working with light instead of dye. So we'll see what happens. Like, though it is Rudiby, I do think it does look very lovely. I do enjoy sort of the pops of that sort of like there's like some deeply egg yolky pops in this from would it be from the merino woolberry tinsel. And I do really appreciate the loft that that yarn is actually bringing to it. It's also giving it like actually a pretty good halo too. So it works out. I'm definitely going to be running out of the lighter yarn first. I did not get the crazy yardage that I did on the other one. It's also interesting because whatever my dusty pink has whatever that very precious amount of Kiviot like that Judith Mackenzie handed me. She's like, if you're careful with this, you can make a thing with this. And it was like, so that's what I'm doing. This is already, it's clear now when I look at this like unfurled. This is not going to be like a insubstantial project. Would it? I have no worries that I'm going to run out of yarn here, especially since my plan is this bandana cowl for this one. And it's just to the point now where it could like barely get over my head. But when I look at pictures of other bandana cowls, I think the secret to a happy bandana cowl is actually having it be a bit larger than your head. Like I think that's what you need to do in order for it to really work. So finish the row this time. For the episode we will never see because we have no clue where it went. So we just have to repeat. So like this is fairly large at this point. You can see the stripiness. I think you can also maybe just sort of see like the bead. So it's like a half octagon sort of situation going on here. Sorry. And you can sort of see that play out here. But yeah, you can see like the pops of orange, sort of like the pastel goodness. This is, I feel like, a little bit too close to my skin tone, but whatever. So it will go over my head, but I will sort of finish, I think I'll finish out sort of my increase pattern here. Basically, 4 color blocks equals like a stripe on this one. So I'll finish that off, and then it will sort of be more of like an easy, it'll be like a little bit more of an easy loop there. And I think that's what looks really nice with that. But it does look very cool like this, right? And then what I need to decide still is what pattern I'm going to do after I'm done doing the increases, or what pattern am I going to do when I run out of the lighter colored yarn, because that's not too far away now. I don't know. I'll pull out these balls of yarn just because they're what it be. There's really not a ton here. There's probably quite a bit of yardage remaining in this one. And at some point I'm gonna I will run out of the it's the case where I have like a section of the yarn here, which is just the camel part. So we'll see. We'll see how I handle it, or if I include it or not. I'm not sure. So would it be definitely not my usual. Probably, I'm assuming I've used about half the yarn at this point. But who knows? And there's still quite a bit of happy knitting to go on this, so it's only getting bigger now. So should be fun. Would it be? And like definitely the case where I don't think I would have had enough in order to make like a proper shawl. So I think this will end up being like a pretty wearable object in the end. Oh yeah, you can definitely see the segments a little bit better this way. It was only like last night that I ended up, I think, getting it onto an even bigger needle and being like, oh wow, this has grown a lot. Like I don't even know if I had started last time. So there's that. So should be good. And then there is one thing which I will be starting on very soon. So what would it be? We are working on traveling scarf projects. What's amusing about this is that basically whatever square like the recipient at first seems to sort of like set the tone. So it's pretty black. We bring it close enough and you can probably, yeah, there's sparkles. Oh yeah, there's sparkles and baubles. There's a ribbing pattern. Oh yeah, we just have to get it really close. A seed stitch pattern. So I went through my stash and I found some black Melissa, and then 2 different things of hand spun. So I think I'm going to add a little brioche to it and call it good. And I'll probably hold the black with this charcoaly one, because the weights are a bit different, and this one's more worstedy, but it's still like this is like brown and like a lighter gray and purple. So it's adding just like a little bit of color. Yeah. But I'm just amused by the little piggy. So that shouldn't be it. It'll probably be pretty quick work for this. I just have to get going. I'd already like not worked on it for a week, so I should probably just finish it off, call it good. So would it be? It may even be something that I end up doing tonight, just so that it's over with. So that is all the knitting in the future. You're probably not even going to see whatever finished square I make, but it's always fun to sort of show what's going on. I made mine. Would it be? But I have not seen the other scarves floating around since I added my square, or since my square got sent off into the wild. So hopefully it's not too lost. But would it be? So last time I was talking about how I was going to approach my hip strings base 12 spin along. And then I convinced myself that I should take the fiber, remix it as gradient bats, and then core spin it. And this is the first skein. So this is 1/3 done for this overall project. So this is, what would it be? I don't even know what days these ones ended up being, but it goes from sort of a darker gray with a lot of sari, to like a medium gray, to a tan, and then to sort of yellow with quite a lot of silk in it. So not too crazy there. It's like so fluffy and so big and so soft. Yeah, I filled a jumbo bobbin with 1 ounce, or sorry, I filled my regular bobbin with 1 ounce of fiber. So this is like totally like the most efficient way to get some like big yardage. I'm trying to remember. I think so. It'd be the case where, yeah, I think it turns out that it's. So I used my cone of Zephyr. So this is lace weight. This is lace weight 50/50 merino silk, I believe. Wool silk. We don't even know what type of wool. And what would it be? And there's still quite a lot here. I wish I had gotten the black, but the black was on back order, and now you can't even buy it anymore. So I have the white. And like it definitely like peeks through in places, but it's not. What would it be? It's just a little bit subtle in there. Every so often, not too crazy. It may be more obvious when I do sort of my darker one, whatever. So I have my core, and that sort of sets up how the yarn acts like. So this is very drapey, fairly structured. Or would it be? Or it'd be the case where it's not like super springy, but it's not, what would it be? I'm trying to think of what other qualities of my core I have there. So, the drape from the silk, but also whatever the structure from the silk too, so it's not super duper stretchy. So, what would it be? And it's so soft, but it's like, core spinning is like probably the best way to handle the sari, because you basically just sort of let it like gently wrap around the yarn, because you're actually drafting perpendicular to the yarn. So I have like the core running through here, and then I'm actually drafting across my whole entire thumb. So I have fiber all the way across here. So as opposed to if I was doing short forward draw, I'd just be using these 2 fingers. So I'm pretty much using my whole thumb in order to pull the fiber out and sort of lay it on the core. So what would it be? But it makes for, so what that means is that you can really stretch fiber, because I don't think I would be able to make such a fluffy yarn if it had just been the base fiber. And then, what would it be? It's, like it, because you're not like super duper mega drafting it, like it's the case where you can let sort of those lumps and bumps go on and they look really cool, spun in this way. So what I'm working on right now is the teal to like swampy green portion of the gradient. So I've finished the first half of it, and then I've joined on my second 1 ounce bat. And so you can see maybe there's like just like a little bit of sari peeking through. There isn't quite as much in this particular color. But one thing about this teal that I'm mostly in right now is that it definitely has like a tussa component to it, and so it's sort of a tacky draft. And for core spinning, it's fine. Like, would it be? But it definitely loves to stay attached to itself. And then what I'll be working on last is the blue. So this one is going from the navy end to the light end, and this one I drafted out so that it's going from the light back to the navy again, and then we have like a really nice brilliant blue in there, and there's even like a little bit sort of like a brownie purple that's over in this section. So this will be a lot of fun to spin. Like, what would it be? Like, I went with this guy from deciding what I was finally going to do on Saturday, making the bats, spinning it all on Sunday, and then plies, like spinning and plying it on Sunday. So it came together super duper fast. And what would it be? And I'm pretty happy with how it all turned out. And you can sort of see here, like how the gradient goes. There's no focus on this camera. So it goes from like a brighter gold to a sandy to a light gray, and then to the darker gray with lots of fun flecks in it. So what would it be? And the plan is probably to use them all together, and also probably add in my other skein of coarse gun with it, because they're all fairly similar to each other. I was a little bit, so it was like 2 ounces of fiber, but it's like a 3.3 ounce skein in total. So there's a lot of core here. there's a pretty decent amount of core there still. So only problem is what would it be? So I was working on it last night, and like there is a limit to how long I can draft it for. So as you do. So it's what would it be? I probably won't be bringing it with me tomorrow. So I might do some of it. I might do some of it tonight. See if I can finish the ply. And then it's also very amusing because like 2 ounces of fiber is like filling a jumbo bobbin. Like when I was plying it, it was like, oh wow, yeah, this is the project that can only be done with the jumbo. But that's fine because the drafting, of course, spinning is just so much different. So, and I'm also like super duper thankful that I live in a place where I can make ridiculous fat fluffy yarn now and still make something and wear it. So what would it be? So we'll see what I decide to do. I feel like I counted this guy out and then forgot to write down the number. Whatever, such is life. So that's gonna be, I think, my spinning for however long it takes to finish. But it shouldn't be like months and months like the other project was. So it's more just like making sure that I'm finding the time to spin. And then with the whole cobweb shawl fiasco, since my computer is not working, my ridiculous spreadsheet my ridiculous spreadsheet is now trapped on a computer that won't turn on because its power adapter is not recognized, which I bet is my computer's problem and not my power adapter's problem, but who knows. So that got paused again. I'm probably gonna finish yet another project before whatever. So would it be? Yeah, no, the only thing that would it be? I am thinking about casting on the Katara hat. That's a woolly wormhead design with my leftovers from my Azula hat. So, because there's plenty of hair in there. And whatever, that could be good. That would be like a counting heavy project, but whatever. So, well, or would it be? But I feel like it's going to be a long, or would it be? It seems like there's quite a bit of knitting left on the brioche cowl, so I'm not going to be too worried about it. We'll see what happens. But I'm probably not going to cast on the sweater until I get some sort of closure on the shawl. And whether or not that like requires ripping back because I've gone too far, who knows? So it may be the case where I just need to open. It may just be the case where I need to open the spreadsheet on a computer that does work. And go from there. So we'll see. Or somewhere, I don't know. There are probably a couple of different options, but I definitely wouldn't want to do it on a phone. So yeah, whatever. Such is life. So should be good. So we'll see whether or not I blow through my spinning project or not. It would be lovely, and then I already know what I'll be working on when that's done. So the plan is to resume my sweater spin. And would be hopefully that ends up going well, because that'll be sort of back into my normal spinning groove. Like this project here was more of like a fun palette cleanser. Yeah, and then May will be like a little bit strange, but I think it'll be okay. So would it be? Yeah, I think it'll be okay. Yeah, so there'll be actual real vacation, so that is exciting. Let's see. What else? Can't think of anything else. So, with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. So, take care, guys. Bye bye.